Hi, my name's Kim and I'm a full-time jewellery silversmithing tutor based in Bristol, UK. If I had one piece of advice for anybody who wants to start working in the creative industries, either as a hobby or as a full-time business, it's just that there's more than one way to do everything. And the most important thing is to find the way that works for you. In Bristol, there's a whole host of silversmiths. There must be hundreds and hundreds of us and many tutors, but my specialism is enabling people to find the ways that work for them, no matter their experience, their age, their dexterity, their budget and their space for when they're working. I try to provide a lot of adaptions, so sometimes we hack up tools, make our own tools, change processes so that they work easier and more comfortable for the person who happens to be using them at any time. And also from a business point of view, is just try and stay true to yourself, because if you can stay true to yourself and use your own voice, it makes everything so much easier and way less work. I absolutely love photography. I got my first camera when I was 6 years old. Before that I kept stealing my parents' camera. I've always been very keen on photography, but for some reason I put off using Instagram for years and years. Even when I signed up for accounts, I was just really resistant to using it. I tried it a couple of times and just felt that it either wasn't for me or it was going to be too much work. And that changed when I started posting what I genuinely was up to at any given point in time, rather than following the standard advice that's out there for social media and marketing in terms of heavily curating everything or pre-planning everything, or having to have a set look. And I found not only through genuinely taking quick photos of what I happened to be doing at the time, not only did it seem more genuine, did it come across to the viewer as more genuine, it actually helped me find my voice, because after I'd done quite a few posts, just by looking back through my timeline, I could see the colours that kept cropping up, you could see the recurring themes, and it helped with the marketing overall, rather than trying to fit into an ideal that I'd been told I should be doing when it comes to promoting your business online. There's an awful lot of advice out there, and a lot of it is fairly identikit in terms of, especially with Instagram, there tends to be a look, it tends to be very bright and clean, or pastel colours, or rose gold, and it's very pretty, but if everybody's doing it, you're not going to stand out from the crowd. And certainly if it doesn't suit you and doesn't suit your business, if it's not true to you, it's going to be a lot of work being able to achieve that. And again, that's one of the reasons that I put off using Instagram for so long, because all my contemporaries and competitors had these beautiful, pristine, just everything was just white and immaculate, and whether it was or not, it looked very staged and flat lays and not a hair out of place. And it's just not me. My studio was rough and dark and a proper working space, and it became a full-time job trying to achieve an aesthetic that just didn't belong to me, it didn't suit me. As soon as I decided to stuff it and throw it out the window and just do what I was doing and be more true to the reality, it became a million times easier. And the shed has now completely evolved, my studio, based on what I was posting on Instagram, but in a true way. So for example, when I first started, the walls were all white, the woodwork was all very pale wood, it was all very clean. I had the succulents and plants and all the things that are popular at the minute, and just trying to fit in with everything. And then of course you use the studio once or twice, and all of a sudden that beautiful pale wood and white walls are scuffed and marked and it just wasn't working. So I stained the wood, very quick job, painted the wall, and just those little tweaks every now and again, it's naturally evolved into a really warm and welcoming space, one that is rustic and well used but still looks good visually and makes people feel nice and calm and relaxed when they visit it. but it's also fairly unique to me, and that's all come from just looking at what I was posting anyway, and then every now and again thinking, oh, that would go with it, that would complement what I've already got, rather than starting from scratch and trying to sort of achieve something that wasn't mine. Also, in line with trying to run my sessions so that the techniques can be as accessible as possible, I also wanted my studio to reflect that. So although it's, you know, a lot of people tell me it's an aspirational space, which is really lovely of them, and I do feel very proud and very at home here, at the end of the day this is a tiny 7 by 7 foot shed. It's a very old wooden shed that was already at the bottom of the garden when we moved into the house, and it's only through paint and touch-ups that it now looks the way it does. These workbenches were already here, they were in a horseshoe shape, but just multiple occasions I've ripped them out, changed the height, cut them up, rearranged them, whatever I needed to do for, you know, the aim I had for that day. A lot of the shelving, people think it's vintage. The one in the middle is vintage, it was second hand, it's a carpenter's toolbox. But all the surrounding shelving is either from IKEA or the works, and it's just been stained with the same waxwood stain, so it all ties in and matches. A lot of the storage space is from IKEA, so again it was cheap as chips. I would say the majority of stuff in this shed has either been second hand or repurposed or redesigned or recycled. And again, it didn't all appear overnight, it was built up slowly and added to. I've had the shed converted as a teaching space for 3 years now, so it's taken about 2.5–3 years to get to this stage. And again, because of that, I think I just feel that it really works for me in the sessions that I'm running, because it was a slow progress rather than just throwing everything in for visual effect. Another piece of advice would be to really be yourself and show yourself online, because people build relationships with and buy from other people. So when your art or creative brand is faceless and it's just the work, it's very difficult to build those relationships. And as much as people find it extremely cringeworthy, especially the first few times that they do it, things like talking to camera or sharing a picture of yourself, quite often they tend to be the most popular posts, because people are getting a real feel of the person behind the work or behind the brand. It's really windy here today. Don't know if you can hear everything clattering. I would say a third is about a good rule of thumb. Not that I'm normally into rules, but people often worry, oh, you know, if I post a picture of myself, is that really self-centered? Am I being vain? Or, you know, it all has to be my work. I can't post a picture of the dog or, you know, the work in progress where things look messy. But actually, if all you post is finished piece after finished piece after finished piece, again, people are looking for that connection. They're looking to understand the process, to get an insight of behind the scenes and all those sort of yummy and interesting things. So if you can try and balance it, so every piece of work that you post, you then maybe also post a work in progress pic, or, you know, a selfie, but as long as it comes with a story. You can post more or less anything as long as in your captioning there's a thread and a story as to why you're posting it, because then it makes sense. And cat and dog pictures, they're just absolutely ever popular. So again, I wouldn't be posting them all the time, but including the odd picture like that is absolutely no harm in it at all, and people like to see what's really happening in your studio, in your workspace. Everything that I post online has either been photographed or filmed on my phone. because that's the thing that I have on me at all times, and also it makes it really easy to take a quick snap of something and edit it on the go compared to using a digital SLR camera or similar. So again, I think if you're going to invest in something, unless you are sending stuff for print media on a regular basis or your photography is being exhibited on a regular basis, personally I would invest in a really good camera phone rather than a big digital SLR camera. And then if you find you want to take higher resolution pictures in the future, have a rethink. But the cameras are getting more and more impressive and more smart, and it just, anything for an easy life. You can take stunning pictures, and a lot of the photography that I've done on my old camera phones, so not top of the range, have been in national publications, and bigger than A4, some of the photos, so the quality was there and it printed out fine. So just, if in doubt, take lots of photos. You can always review them, you don't need to post every one, but the more you practice, the easier it will get. Same with talking to camera. Even if you just do it for yourself initially and maybe keep a little daily diary just to, you know, practice and get a bit more comfortable with it, it does make a big difference when connecting with your audience. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the studio tour as well.